Good morning and welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live. Well, that was a good start, isn't it, Tracy? Start again. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live with me, Tracy Mann. So this is my Saturday morning shopping channel where I sit and go through various products with you and show you all the new things and all the nice things and how to use the things that we sell online on our website, which is currently written under there, letsshopcakelive.co.uk. Clearly, I've lost my voice. I don't know what I've done with my bottle of water. Oh, there it is. Well, I may need that. There's nothing wrong with me except probably hay fever. So anyway, that's a very good start. So we're going to have a look shortly at some of the new products and things that we've got coming up over the next few weeks or so. I've got everything ready. I've got a few bits and pieces that I'm going to make today as well. Now I'm on my own. Kelly's not here, so let's hope Nikki's logging in. Because if she's not, I've got a problem. It's going to be fine. I'm looking now. Oh, here I am. Right, I've got my little iPad down here just so I can keep an eye on who's on, because all I can see is the word Facebook user, which I hate because I like to know who's watching. It's much more fun, isn't it? So we're going to try and sort that out now. Kelly's doing what all 20-year-olds do, and she's currently in bed asleep because she's been out on a party. She might appear at some point online. She might suddenly decide that she's going to start helping me with my links. Good morning, Nikki. I hope Kelly is there as I'm in the field with dogs. No, she's not. But that's okay. I've got my little iPad for the moment, and Kelly may wake up at some point and do all the links from home. But yes, I've got to allow Kelly, my beloved Kelly, who is normally here doing all the lives with me. As you can imagine, she's 21 years old and wants to be out partying. So that's exactly what she's doing. And that's absolutely fine. So it's just me, but that's okay because we will get through this fine. Nikki's going to start walking her dogs a bit quicker now so she can get back and help me, bless her. No, it's fine, honestly. I will be there, don't worry. So thank you very much for joining me, because it's a very nice day outside at the moment, and it has been all week, apart from yesterday, which is a bit on the grim side. But we're going to go through some cake, lovely cake things that we've got. We've got another offer this weekend as well, which is really nice. I put a picture online yesterday of myself, nice top. Put a picture online yesterday of myself. Someone goes, "Oh, you've got legs." I said, "I know." This is actually a dress. You wouldn't believe it, would you? But yeah, I've actually got legs. It did make me laugh, actually, because you do think that sometimes with these BBC news presenters, don't you? And they always used to sit at the desk. And I remember the first time they stood up and you thought, "I've got legs. How weird is that?" I've definitely got legs, everybody, so don't worry. They haven't suddenly disappeared. So basically, if you haven't joined us before, this is Let's Shop Cake Live. So what it is a cake shopping channel. So I will be showing you some bits and pieces. You will have the opportunity to go and buy them. Some of them are limited availability. Some of them are on offer. Some of them are just lovely and new, and we want to buy them immediately because we can't help ourselves. I never used to go. There's a shop locally to me called A Piece of Cake. I have to tell you, the lady used to run it, and she is so lovely, Norma. I would walk in there and she'd go, "What about this, Tracy? This, and this," and I'd buy it immediately because that's what I'm like. Because anything in cake world, you see, and I'm there. So I understand what it's like, but I am going to show you some bits and pieces this morning. We are going to do some royal icing. So I'm going to show you how to make royal icing using a product called Whipping It Up, which is what we also sell on our website. We're going to have a look at all the things that we've got for Father's Day. I've written a list because I'm absolutely hopeless at remember anything, and then I couldn't find my list before I came live, but I found a version of it now, so that's okay. We're going to look at ice cream because looking at my Instagram, yes, I'm a huge fan of ice cream. And I'm actually going away next week, so there'll be more pictures of me appearing on Instagram with various Mr. Whippies. It's only that one that gets me, so I have to go and find those. So you'll see me appearing on that towards the end of the week. So yeah, we're going to have a look at that. So I'm kind of sort of preparing for a demo on Tuesday. So I've got one demo on Tuesday next week on Sugar and Crumbs at 6:30. I think that's what I've got anyway, yeah. And then I'm not going to be demming for the rest of the week, and that does include Let's Shop next week. So I won't be here next week. I'm going on holiday for a little while, so I need a break. So I'm going away. I'm not going away actually until Thursday morning, and I will be back Saturday morning. So it's not really a very long break, but I'm going away for a little while. So no Let's Shop next week, but I'll write a few other bits and pieces and things that you'll be able to see anyway. So it'll still be lovely shopping without me being here. So don't worry about that. Now, the big offer today that we've got on, which you need to have a look at. Now, I was going to put the link up. Let me see if I can do this and talk at the same time. It's probably highly unlikely. Let me go. I see, this is why I need Kelly, or because then I start going into meltdown with things like this. Let me have a look. And I also look my age when I'm doing this, because I'm sort of doing this and it's very annoying, because I watch things online and I think, why are these people not able to do this very quickly? And I think, well, I'm the same. So I'm going to look for a link now. I'm going to talk about this link while I find it. So we have got this weekend only. So today and tomorrow and up until Monday morning. Where are we? I've nearly found it. We have got all the cake toppers, which is, let me copy this. I've found the link now. You see, I'm doing it very calmly because then I won't wind myself up. I've got my iPad here, another one, so I can try and organise myself. So I found that bit now. Let's try and close that down. Okay, right, we've done that. So all the cake toppers this weekend, that means, and I'm going to go through them all as we go through the morning anyway, all the things like the elephants, the Father's Day, the mermaids, the jam pot covers, all of these things that I've been doing, including the new ice cream one this morning, have got 10% off this weekend. So all you need to do when you go to the checkout, you can check out with everything else under the sun, it doesn't matter, but when you put in the code cake topper, then you will get 10% off that part that you've ordered. Okay, so it's not going to whop 10% off the whole lot. It's only going to take 10% off any cake topper that you buy. Now, if you're thinking, what on earth is she talking about? I will show you as soon as I've gone back. Here we go. Right, I've made it back now. Now I don't know where to put the comment. Oh my goodness me. Kelly, come back. All is forgiven. Oh, there we go. I found it now. Right, here we go. Be impressed by this, everybody. That's taken me about 15 minutes to do that. So you'll need to go, so there are cake toppers on Let's Shop. Let's make sure that's everybody's clear on that. There are also cake toppers on that link that I've just sent you up there. Now there's 48 of them, I think now, different cake toppers that we sell that are unique to us. So we've got literally everything under the sun, from hedgehogs, excuse me, I've got an itch, hedgehogs, dinosaurs, elephants, everything. It's just been a brilliant, brilliant thing for us to do. Everybody's loved it. So we have now got them on offer for this weekend. And I'm now going to write the code. So we're using the code. I'm not going to be doing this all morning because Nikki will be back shortly. Using the code cake topper, which I'm going to put up now. So you can either go through Let's Shop or you can go through my website. It doesn't matter, but you're going to get 10% off this weekend. Let me do that. Nearly finished. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. There we go. Right. Okay. Everything's up there that you need, she says. Come on. There it goes. Right, so if you want to get 10% off cake toppers this weekend, that's the code. But we're going to come back to that later on. So I'm going to show you those as we go through. But we're going to start with cake pricing, because that is the big thing, isn't it? I'm going to also just have a look and see who's online this morning. Who have we got in this morning? Oh, Maureen's in, Linda's in, Nikki's in. Hurry up, Nikki. My daughter's watching, Charlotte. Charlotte, man. My daughter, my eldest daughter, is leaving home this weekend. Just look at me, Charlotte. Now, I've got to talk to you about Charlotte. Charlotte's been extremely helpful with one of my cake classes that's coming up. And we're going to go talk about that now. So we're going to go straight on to the cake school. So let's move across to that address. So now, if we want to buy anything from the cake school, we have to go to a different website, because that's where all our classes are. They're not in with Let's Shop, they are on a different site. So we always start with classes, and then it keeps it nice and clear, and we don't end up getting too confused about what's going on. Right, okay, let me put these comments back up so I can see what's going on. That's fine. Okay, so Wednesday night this week we have got our cake pricing class, and I realise that the reason I mentioned Charlotte there is because Charlotte is like the queen of Excel sheets and Word and all this kind of stuff. So she has done us some amazing sheets that we're going to be able to use for our cake pricing. So I've talked about cake pricing over the last few weeks and kind of explain what this class is about. So this is going to be a Facebook Live on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Hold on, let me grab this bit of paper and check. Yeah, Wednesday. That's better. Just knew I'd seen it somewhere. So yeah, Wednesday is the... Oh, someone's put a link up. Maureen. Oh, you're good. Thank you, Maureen. So yeah, we're going to be having a cake pricing class on the Wednesday, the 9th of June, I believe it is, at 6:30. Now, quite a few have signed up for it already, but let me kind of explain exactly what this is and why you need to do it. So this is a live explaining to you how to, one, price your cakes, not my cakes, your cakes. Okay, so this is going to make you think hard. It's probably going to be the best 2 hours that you can possibly have to actually get your head around what it is that you're offering for sale, because it's very easy to get swept along with everything and not actually be aware of how much you're charging for stuff. And then suddenly, after a period of time, you've done all these cakes and everything's going really well, and you look around, you go, oh, I haven't got much money left. What happened? It's because you need to look at your pricing. It's really, really important. And so on this, we're going to be doing pricing. We're also going to be looking at how to deal with customers. Do not underestimate how difficult that can be. I'm sure you're probably already aware of that. And when I say customers, I mean people receiving your cakes for a price. So I don't mean if you're not a business, for example, then this still applies to you, because if you're doing cakes for friends, say you work in an office or wherever, and somebody goes, oh, I hear you make cakes, can I make a cake for my daughter? Yeah, no problem. What do you want? Here we go. This is what I want. And they say to you, how much? Like that. And then if you don't have a pre-planned kind of idea or a reaction or something, it's going to get quite difficult. So I'm going to show you get out of jail sort of free cards to give you a bit of time to go away and think about it. But I'm also going to give you the tools to make sure that you're already prepared and you know how much things cost, and also how to deal with their reactions, because that's so hard sometimes. When someone, you say to them, the cake's going to be £50, and then they go, oh, as much as that, or somebody else goes, oh, is that it? And then you think, okay, what have I done here? Did I drastically underprice it, or what's going on? And just kind of understanding how you can deal with that as well, and also making sure that you are not working for basically less than the minimum wage. Kelly and I have a bit of a standing joke that sometimes it feels like you're working for 2p an hour because you're doing so much work. We want to try and avoid that if we can, to get you to look really, really hard at what you're doing, to make sure that you're accountable for everything that you're doing. So when you look at it and you go, I know why I charge that amount of money, and these are the reasons why, so that you're able to justify it, I guess, and feel that, I know people make this silly joke about cakes being flour and water. They're not. They're way more than that. They're very labour intensive. It's like saying, well, the price of cleaning products is very low, therefore I'm not going to pay the cleaner much. And that's not right, is it? Because they're working very hard, as are cake makers. It's about having confidence as well. So if anything else, I want to hope that you leave the class, one, not only able to create your own price list, two, having much more of an idea about how to deal with customers and what to say. Well, I've got 2 PAs now, been promoted, but also being able to make sure that what you're doing is basically as kind of cost effective as possible. So it's being able to work out exactly what you're spending your time on, and your money, but mainly your time, because that's actually where it all slips away. You can start off with this great big elaborate design, or a customer comes to you. There's one particular cake online that drives me crazy, and every time it comes in I think, oh no, not this one again. It's the I'm sure some of you will have seen it. It's the Marvel superhero cake, and it's got two hands, like, it's beautiful cake, two hands that are like the Hulk or something, and then there's a cake, and so that's holding up that base bit. Then you've got Spider-Man and something else and all this stuff. I mean, this cake is extremely complicated, and every time I look at it I think, oh, here we go, this is going to be at least a £300 cake, if not more, because it's so complicated. There's structure and all these things going on, and I know almost immediately that the customer's never going to pay for this in a million years. And that's then learning that you can do things like, okay, if you want this cake, it's going to be this amount of money. If you want a cheaper version but of the same thing, then you can have it for this amount of money, or there's this amount of money. And it's giving them a range so that you can keep your customer but identify where they fall. So in other words, if you've got a customer who's got loads of money and happy to spend on whatever, they're bound to go for that complicated one. If you want someone who's just thinking, gosh, I want to pay the same level as the supermarket, then they're probably going to pay for the lower end one. But it's finding that bit in the middle and being able to offer different things and look at it, what it is that you're offering. Don't just take everything as read. Always remember, you're in charge. That's what I always say. You're in charge. You're the one who's got to make that cake. You're the one who's going to be up all night if it goes wrong and you don't know what to do. I see a lot of posts online where people go, oh, I was asked to make this cake, I don't know what to do. And you think, and they've quoted, and I think, well, how did you do that? Why did you do that? Why didn't you go, I don't know how to make this cake, but I can offer you this one, which is, much more of my sort of standards or stuff, or give them the name of someone else who can do it. Don't stitch yourself up. So the whole cake pricing thing is going to be about that. So it's going to be about creating your own price list, lists, dealing with your customers and making sure you don't work for next to nothing. So the cake pricing class is on Let's Shop Cake Live. No, it's not. It's on Tracy Mann Cake School. I'm looking down at my iPad to see what's going on. So it's on the Tracy Mann Cake School. It's £10. I'm telling you now, it'll be the best £10 you ever spend, because you will sit there and you will be thinking about it and going, yeah, actually this makes a lot of sense. And I want people to be really, really geared up for this, because then you can go back and watch this Facebook Live. So if you miss it and you can't make it on Wednesday evening, that's fine. You can just watch it in your own time. If you're watching it live, you've got the opportunity to ask questions at the end. And also, I mean, everybody will get access to any sheets that we come up with. We've got some sheets available for download that you'll be able to complete. They're very much paper printed and fill in yourself. We like that sort of thing. It's much more, or you can go online and you can tap your figures in, but basically we've tried to keep it as simple as we possibly can. There is a little bit of maths involved. There's a little bit of if you've got a calculator, that would be good. I've already said to the group, for the ones that are there, look now, I've already said, go and do some research. Probably something they're thinking, oh, isn't she just going to tell us what the prices are? No, I'm not. I want you to go and look. I want you to go to Tesco's or Morrison's or wherever it is, local farm shop, wherever it is. You do need to go and have a look at your prices. How much am I paying for my eggs? How much am I paying for my flour? How much am I paying for margarine, butter, whatever it is that you use? And I want you to write these things down, and it's really, really important. So make sure that you go and do that, because it is going to be well worth it for you to have a look at all this. And then once you've kind of got these updated figures, you'll have to do a little bit more research, maybe in 2 or 3 months time, and watch things, but it will be worth it. So it's definitely a class that I would 100% recommend. So it is very important. I'm reading some of the comments here about, yeah, being true to yourself, exactly, and thinking about how you come across to your customers, because there is a huge difference between the customer you don't know, the customer that you know through a friend, the friend, and the family. They all fall into 4 different groups, and you have to then make some decisions about how you're going to deal with all of this. And I have some quite clear decisions about how I handle all of this. So I'm hoping to pass all that on to you, to say I have dealt with customer after customer after customer, and hopefully we'll be able to pass some knowledge on to you and help you. And I'm sure that you will be able to take notes and all that. You won't need anything for the class other than to just tune in, write a few notes, print off the sheets if you want, or just download them onto your computer and just use them as and when you need to. But the idea behind it is it's going to help you. So that's the whole point of it. Well, I hope that's the point of it anyway. So so that's the cake pricing class. Oh, who's put a link up for me? Oh, Donna. I've gave myself an extra PA. I've got Donna, Maureen, and and Nikki. She's still out walking her dogs. Yes, Kelly is not available at the moment, so she's still asleep at the moment. But yes, there we go. Right, so let's move on. We're still going to be on the cake school at the moment, and we're going to have a look at, I'm looking at, now this week I'm going to find a picture, everybody. In fact, I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to show you a video, I know. So here we go. So this was a cake handbag that I made this week on Sugar and Crumbs. There you go. There's me picking it up just to show you what it does. How cool is that? Love things like this. I've done a TikTok on this as well. Is anybody into TikTok? Go and have a look. I've done a little video on that as well. I'm enjoying the music side, I think, more than anything else. So we have got the handbag cake topper. What did I do with the kits? I put those somewhere. Hold on. I buried them. I'm sure I put one over here. Yes, I did. I can feel it. Right. There we go. This is what they look like. Now, you can either buy these separately, but basically what I've done with this on the cake school is I have put them free at the moment with the handbag classes. So if you buy a handbag class, you're going to get a free kit. Now the kits are about £8.50. The lessons are £27.99, I believe, and there are, how many of them are there? I think there's 5 available at the moment. Each bag is available with a kit. So for example, if you book the anemone bag, for example, you will get the kit that corresponds with that, because there's 2 different kits. This is the rectangular one. There is also an oval one. There is a round one as well, but it doesn't kind of work with this kind of thing with handbags. It's not the same. It's more like a paint pot or something like that. So we haven't included the round one at all. But if you book whichever one it is that you book, you will get the kit that's relevant to that. Now, I did a full demo on Tuesday night, and it is available on YouTube now. So you will be able to go across to YouTube and have a look. So that's all free. You'll be able to go and watch how I built these bags. But also on this class, there is also on Teachable itself, a complete class on how to build these bags. So in rectangular and oval, they're very similar, but it gives you an idea on how to do it. So you will be able to do that as well. So you'll be able to go back and have a little look at that as well and see exactly what it is with all this that you've got going on here. So these are great. I love these. I know they've been around a while, but it's one of these things that I just go, I love this concept. And therefore we're going to go for it. So yeah, carry kits available as they are, or free, okay, with a class. So I think free with a class is a pretty good deal, to be perfectly honest, because you're then only paying about £16 for your class, and the kits comes free. Now, we're only posting these free out in the UK, I'm afraid. So if you are anywhere else, we will send you a kit, but we will need to charge you a little bit of postage to do that. We have got some very limited sales going out across everywhere else, purely because so much stuff has been lost. In the UK, even Royal Mail, we're still having some difficulties here and there. Amazingly enough, we can send to Maureen, particularly Northern Ireland, seems to get her stuff overnight, but we can send stuff up north that just takes absolutely forever, and I do wonder where on earth it goes. And I've questioned the post office about this, and it literally is about which sorting office it's going through. So it's tough. So please bear with me. I promise you that it's not us, it's always Royal Mail. We would do absolutely everything we possibly can to ship your stuff out as fast as we can, and use the I say we do use the Royal Mail first class service. But sometimes when people contact me and say I still haven't had my stuff, I feel awful, because it really isn't our fault. But we are asking people to wait up to 2 weeks for the stuff to arrive, purely because it's taking time for the Royal Mail stuff to arrive, and it is arriving. That's what's just unbelievable. It is actually arriving. So amazingly enough, you know, it does then turn up. They'll say my stuff hasn't arrived, and then I get an email going, I've got it, and I think, yes, thank goodness for that. So please just be patient. It is coming, and we will get them out to you. But yes, if you would like one of these and you fancy having a go at making a bag, let's go for it. Let's paint one, and let's create ourselves a bag as well. Now, going back to the classes, the beginners floral class, which is this one here, which is the dark one here, and the peony and the wisteria, all these lovely beginners floral courses have been on offer now for a period of time, and the offer is coming to an end soon. So I'm giving you that warning, because you still have the opportunity to use the instalment plan. So if you particularly want to use the instalment plan, by that I mean by paying over 2 or 3 months for a big course, you do have the option to do that and still get the offer. Once the offer stops, then you won't be getting the nice, lovely, cheap rate. Or you can still have the instalment plan, but you'll be paying a lot more for it. So if you do want to benefit from something like beginners floral, if it works out, it's £100, or £99. So it works out 2 payments, 49 and 50, or 3 payments of 33, something along those lines. So if you want to do that and you think, I'd really love to do that course, I don't want to pay £99 now, but if I leave it too much longer, the offer's going to end, then get in contact with me, send me an email, go via the school page, the Tracy Mann Cake School, and I will set you up with a plan. And then you just pay every one every 2 or 3 months, depending what it is. Loads and loads of people have signed up for it, and they're doing brilliantly. Sharon's finished, a lady called Sharon, she might be on at the moment, not too sure. I'm trying to look at names and various things as I go. I've got an iPad here just in case you think, what is she doing? I can see down here Nikki's back, that's very good, although she now has a team to compete with. We've got Donna and Maureen who've done a brilliant job. I think Maureen's gone for a lie down. Yeah, well, I've got another lady who's coming to help me actually on Let's Shop when Kelly departs to do more work. So I have got another lady that's coming in to help me. So you're going to get to meet her shortly, and I'll let you know when she's due to start. And she's very much a good fun. So I'm sure you're going to love her when she starts. So she's going to be coming to help me on Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings. We've still got Kelly at the moment. Kelly's not going too far, but she's fast asleep at the moment. So there we go. So yeah, the floral painting class, anything that's on installments, you'll see on the website, you can see a little button that says installment plan available. If you can see that, that means there is an installment plan available. We've also had people that have gone, I want that class, and that class, lump them all together, and then they've been able to get an installment plan that way. And I don't mind that either. So for example, if you decided you wanted to do the famous beginners cocoa butter cake painting course, if you wanted to do that one, and then you decided you also wanted to do floral, so if you then decided actually I'd like to do the painting class as well, or perhaps this new one which is the fuchsia painting class, and you lump them all together, then I'm more than happy to do you a payment plan. Okay, what I don't want to be doing is a payment plan for 30 quid. It just, as in like 3 lots of £10, it just doesn't work. It's a lot of admin for me, versus I don't mind doing it on the bigger courses, but ideally not on the smaller ones, because it's just, by the time I've done it, it's just not worth us doing it. So we have to chase all the invoices and all this kind of stuff, and I don't want to do that. So they are on the larger courses or groups of things together. But don't forget as well, there's also lots of lovely free stuff on YouTube. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to pay for any of that right now, there is lots of nice free stuff on YouTube, including, I've just spotted this one that we did a few weeks ago, which was one of the most popular cakes that I'd done in a very long time. If you want to watch it, you can still go back onto YouTube. It's all there for you. You can go back on there and watch it. What I do ask though is that you support us, and that we've shown you how to use these cutters. So I'd really like you to buy them from us, because it helps us to be able to keep going and to be able to provide you with all these lovely free tutorials. So if you can support us, that would be great, because I'm quite happy to do all these lovely things. But yeah, if you can, that would be marvellous. Right, let's move across to, we've finished with the cake school now, so we'll go back to Let's Shop Cake Live, which is where we've got all our lovely products. Who have we got coming in now? There's always lots of you this morning. It's a little busy morning. How lovely. So we're going to make some royal icing in a minute using this product here, which is Whipping It Up, which belongs to a company called Sugar and Crumbs, which lots of you know that I do loads and loads of demonstrations on every single week. We only stock one of their Whipping It Up products, which is called Velvet Vanilla. We also stock 2 of their icing sugars, but we'll come on to those later because they're kind of part of the another kit, so we'll come back to that later on. But Velvet Vanilla Whipping It Up, why on earth is it called Whipping It Up? Because this has got icing sugar and it's got egg in it, egg white, so it's not suitable for anyone who's allergic to egg. But what it does, it means you can add water to it and you can make royal icing very, very quickly. So what I've done, I've got a whole let's go on to the other camera. Actually, I'll just move my notes out of the way so I don't look too insane. There we go. Let's move that across a little bit. There we go. Don't actually know if I managed to plug in my food mixer this morning. I'll have a look in a second. Anyway, so I have put in an entire bag of this. Now, you don't have to put in a whole bag. You can put in just a small amount, half it, but a whole bag, you're going to need 70, what did I say? 70 grams of water, I think it was, or was it 75? I can't remember now. 70 or 75, one or the other. There's so little in it that you can actually just kind of put it all in and see how you go. So there we go, we'll put that in. I'm going to keep a bit back. Now, Maureen, look at this, what I picked up. You're going to like this. Look, a nice pink spatula from Dunelm. Maureen likes pink things, so I'm just showing you now. Now, what I'm going to do, I wouldn't normally do this, but because I'm on a camera and my iPhone is directly above it, I don't particularly want it showered in icing sugar. So I'm just going to take my spatula and just very carefully mix this icing sugar in, so I don't end up with clouds of it everywhere, because that's going to be no good to me. I'm bound to spill it. I mean, 70 grams, there you go. So I think I might put in a tiny bit more, but we'll see. Can't remember. I can always adjust it, so I'm not too worried. So you can see I've started to sort of get the bulk of the icing sugar out. I'm just going to take that out for a second. And then you're going to need an electric whisk. Hopefully I can remember to plug mine in, because that, no, of course I haven't. I've obviously plugged in the heater or something instead, knowing me. Right, where's my plug for this? Oh no, I just haven't switched it on. Let's see. No, which one is it? Hold on a second. Oh, I have switched my heater on now. I'm cooking now. All right, hold on a minute. Oh my goodness, I need to unplug that. It's a bit too warm for an extra heater, I think. Oh, that's better. Right, let's make sure it's working now. Yep, there we go. We're in business now. Okay, so we have got, I'm going to pop this in here and we'll give it a bit of a mix. Now it goes quite yellow to start with, and I have found with whipping it up, it is actually quite a yellow product. So you can change it. You can put in some white colouring. So something like white dust is quite good. Let's turn this up a bit. But it will go white and then it will tend to go yellow when it sets. So you need to be a little bit cautious of this if you're expecting to have white products at the end. So we're going to give this a good old go and let this run. So what you're doing is basically whipping the egg. So that's why it's building up. So you've got to keep it going. Just stop it for a second, just so I can scrape the sides down to make sure we don't miss anything. So let's get that back out. Make sure we can get it all the way down. So yeah, just saying there that whipping it up is quite yellow, but when you've made it, it can be quite white, but it will dry slightly yellow. So if you want to stop that, you can put in a little bit of white dusting colour. That seems to do it, or something like there's another product, Sugar Flare, do a white dust or a fractal gel. Even a little bit of that will do it. I'm not too worried because I'm going to be dyeing this, so that's fine. Quite happy. So when you're looking at royal icing, you're looking for, if I do that, can you see it peaking? That's what we're looking for. So we want it to hold its shape. And this is a very quick and easy way to make royal icing. You are literally adding water and nothing else. So it's really, really easy to make. And it's got a very nice smell about it, this particular one. And this is why I went for this one. I'm going to just go a bit further with it. But you can also see it's changed colour. So it's got much whiter, which is what we want. I'm trying to keep my super white powder. Yeah, you can use that. Just trying to keep my food mixer out of the way so you can see it. But can you see the change? So you know, like when you make a meringue or something like that, when you first start, it takes a while for it to change. Well, because there's egg already in here, you do need to beat it to make sure it then becomes royal icing. It needs to be nice and smooth. So there you go. So that is whipping it up. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to just take it out of here and we're going to store it. I have this very interesting system that I've had forever and a day. It is literally a glass bowl. Here we go. And all I'm going to do is literally just take it out and pop it straight in. You need to make sure everything is grease free. So if you are somebody who's making lots of buttercream and cakes and all these kinds of things, before you start this, it's worth taking your bowl and your whisk or whatever it is that you're going to use to the sink and giving them an extra wash up, just in case there's any grease on there at all, because it will collapse if there's any grease on there. And then all I do, once I've done that, is I just eject those into there. That all goes to the sink, and then we just put this lid straight over the top, and then that stops it drying out. And I just keep this at room temperature. So I'm just going to move that over there for the moment, and then I will be able to keep my royal icing. And it should last 2 or 3 weeks. It won't go off straight away. You don't store it in the fridge. I'll just put that in the sink. You don't store it in the fridge. You store it at room temperature. Well, now sometimes when you go back to royal icing and you have a look at it, you might find that it looks, I'm trying to think of the word, separated. I think that's a good word, isn't it? It might look separated. Now, if it does that, don't chuck it away. Don't look at it and go, oh no, it's gone off. Literally, just get your beaters back out again and whisk it again, and then you'll find it will come back to life again. And if you need to adjust it, like maybe a tiny bit of water or a tiny bit of icing sugar, then it'll be fine. You'll be able to keep that in the container for about 2 to 3 weeks. You'll be amazed how long it lasts. It's really good, but please don't put it in the fridge. if you put it in the fridge, then what happens is basically the fridge temperature will then cause it to crystallize, and then you've got a problem, because then you'll find the icing will go hard and you won't be able to do anything with it. So don't put it in the fridge, just keep it at room temperature, and then you'll be absolutely fine with it. But it's a really nice product. So whipping it up, we say we've got velvet vanilla. It's a very nice flavour. But we also do as well, which I'll bring over here, these are 2 summer specials. I went straight for the cocktail ones, of course. We have got passion fruit martini and also mojito, which we've got in a 2-pack. With the cocktail toppers. Now the cocktail toppers, you can also buy them separately, and if you want to get that offer on toppers this weekend, you will need to buy those separately. But this one here, so these are the flavours of the summer. They are icing sugar. They are not whipping it up, because remember, whipping it up has egg in it, so you won't make royal icing from this unless you add egg in it as well. So if you want to make royal icing, you must add egg to this. But I think personally these are for making lovely cupcakes for the summer. That's what I would do with it. Or otherwise you can do lots of things with icing sugar. It's flavoured icing sugar, so anything you can make with icing sugar, then that's exactly what it is that you need to do. So you can just have a go. You can make all sorts on here. Ice cream, various things. Ice cream we got on this one. What have we got on this one? Also ice cream. But there's loads and loads of things. Anything with icing sugar in it, you can use these. Very nice. Certainly, I think cocktail cupcakes. Imagine going off to a party, and this is the thing, we're all getting out and about a little bit more now. You know, you go off to a party, and we've got a lovely little kit, a mocktail. I've called it a Mocktail Cupcake Kit. And what you can do is basically make up some mojito flavoured and passion fruit martini ones, swirl a bit of buttercream on top of your, just be vanilla cakes. That would be nice. You don't want to go too overboard with it, and then just put your little toppers on top, and there you go, take those to a party. How cool is that? So really nice ideas for the summer, because we are in summer mode now, and these are the kinds of things that I think just look really nice, and just nice and simple, taste nice. So you know, you can't go wrong with these, I don't think. And there's no alcohol in them. You have to have alcohol in a cocktail form, won't you? So they are mocktail cupcakes, so they're completely suitable for if you wanted to take them to a party and there may be some kids running around. You haven't got to worry about them, you know, eating something they shouldn't do. It's absolutely fine. So very nice. So have a look out for those as well. Let me just move that across like that. So a couple of other things to think about. We are going to come on to the toppers and other bits and pieces. So I'm heading towards that. We've got our icing made up now, so that's good. We're heading in the right direction. I'm doing a little mini clear up as I go, so that I'm actually getting better, I think, at not making quite so much mess all over the table when I'm trying to do lives, because I have been getting in a bit of a pickle. Don't forget, we've also got paintbrushes in at the moment in sets of 5, which are now back in stock, thank goodness, because it has taken literally forever to get them in from Ireland. They've been stuck there. So now, if you want to do any cake painting of any description, there is a set of 5 paintbrushes. These paintbrushes are completely against my courses. So if you take any of my courses, you're going to need these brushes, because they are all numbered and it's going to help you. I'm trying to help you. That's what I'm trying to do. So they've all got starting at 0, 0. So we've got 0, 0, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So they're all in a kit together. So you can then get those brushes and they will then last with your cake painting. Now, one of the things that I've talked about in the past with paintbrushes is don't think that they're not going to last very long. I've honest to God got this near enough the same set that I've had all along. The difference with me is that I can't find them sometimes. So when I'm about to go live, I leap around looking for the paintbrushes and go, I can't find one, and I just grab it. It's because I'm not, you know, the most tidiest of people. If I put them back in the right place, as my mother would say, then I would think that I could do that. So I would be more organised. So there we go. So paintbrushes are available now in these sets. Don't miss out, because I've got them all and I want to hold on to them at the moment, but I'm hoping that we're going to still be able to keep getting them, because the supply has been like this, and that does apply across the board in cake at the moment. So I just want to pre-warn you that if you are going ahead and if you've looked in your order book, or friend, again, you know, you're making cake for someone and they specifically want something that you know you've either got to get the mold or the colour or the brush or the whatever it is, you need to make sure you get it, because the supply chain is all over the place at the moment with cake or cake supplies. because there are lots of problems with the suppliers getting stuff in. One of the biggest suppliers, the trade suppliers that we use, has normally been an overnight supplier. So you would order something over the weekend, we place our order on Monday, we would get it on Tuesday. We're now not getting it till the following Monday. It's painful. So if you do want stuff, please just bear in mind that we are working with these suppliers as best as we possibly can. We do have lots of stock in of everything, but there are times when we run out and we do have delays, and it's not us, it is further back in the chain at the moment. And this is a very big hub that loads of us deal with, including Sugar and Crumbs, and it's just the way it is at the moment. So just bear with us, just get yourself organised. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Get organised, everybody, because it's going to help you in the long run. Now, we have got one new cookie cutter this week, and it is one that was requested. We have got 8, I think it is, in the pipeline that my lovely man who I found, who is in Scotland, is busy designing as we speak. So we have got a whole new load of cutters coming. Some of them are summer based, some of them are Christmas based. We don't want to mention that word yet, but I'm trying to get organised, you see, for Christmas in advance. So we're having these in, and then I'm going to start sort of filming and doing various bits and pieces with them. But there are some new cookie cutters coming. I love it. I've absolutely been swept along with this. I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed designing cookie cutters. It's been one of my my new fads at the moment. So yeah, we are definitely going to be getting some new cutters, but we have got one today. Now we're all going to know what it is. Okay, we're going to call this, it's the kitty cutter because I don't want to be in trouble, but this one is now available on the website. It's going to be coming into us Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully next week. It's not actually involved in the rest of the hold-ups because this comes from an independent supplier. So this is going to be available from Tuesday or Wednesday. It depends how quickly you can get them to me, but they are on order now. You know what it is. I'm not going to mention it too much. I'm going to show you also how to do it. So I've just shown you how to make the royal icing. Okay, now if I try and show you live, it's going to be difficult because nothing's going to be set in time. So what I'm going to do is I've got taken some screenshots of when I did them. I'm just going to explain to you kind of how I did it. So when you cut your cookie out, they're lovely, aren't they? This is what, there we go. So this is how I did it. So first of all, I've made up my whipping it up, so my royal icing, however it is that you want to do it. And you're going to dye this black exactly as it is. You're not going to alter the consistency of it. You're just going to do it black. And then all you're going to do is pipe round the edge of this cookie exactly like I've just done on this screen here. Now this video will be available on YouTube, so you will be able to go back and watch it. Now, for those of you that, I know we've talked about TikTok, but any of you who do TikTok, you will be able to see there's a tiny, very short, under 1 minute video on there as well about how I did it. So what you do with this is you basically make up your whipping it up exactly as I've just done, then you dye it black, and then you use a piping nozzle number 2, which we do have on our website as well, and you pipe this pattern onto your biscuit and then you leave it. Okay, so you don't then fill it in straight away. I would recommend, purely because it's black, that you do, let's say for example, you've made your biscuits in the afternoon, you've made your royal icing in the afternoon, and then once they've all cooled down and sorted, you can then pipe your cookies in the evening or late afternoon and then leave them overnight. Do not attempt to start flooding this until they're dry because it will bleed. There is no other way of describing this. You will end up with a problem. So once that's done, make your cookies, pipe your cookies with the consistency of the whipping it up that I've just shown you in black, and then leave it. Then come back in the morning, and then you can start flooding it, which means that you're going to take your royal icing and you're going to add some water to it. Now, what I recommend you do is get yourself a small pot, get a little bit of tap water. It doesn't have to be complicated. And then you're just going to very carefully mix that into the royal icing until it goes to a consistency that's holding about 15 seconds. So what that actually means is that you're going to be putting water in and stirring it. And then if you take your knife and pull it through the mix, then you will be able to see whether or not it's going to hold. I might show you that actually, just to make sure that's clear on that. Now you can see on that, I'll come back to that in a minute. So you can see on that picture that I have flooded all the white bits on there. Now, because there are black lines between all of this, if you're clever and you get all your colours inside those black lines, then you won't have a problem with it merging together. But if you overflow this, and you might find, for example, then you'll end up with the red bow and the blue dress ending up blending into the white, you'll have a problem. So if you're careful, you can do this fairly quickly. What I suggest you do is do it step by step. Now, when I did these, I did all the white. I left it to dry for about an hour and a half maybe. Then I came back. I'm going to go back to the original picture, and then I did the blue. And then I left that to dry for about an hour, and then I came back and did the red bow, and then I came back and did the yellow, and then did the eyes and the nose, and it was all finished. It was all finished quite quickly. Because it's outlined, it is a much quicker procedure than if you do it with if you do it separately. So if, in other words, if you don't have that black outline in the first place, so for anyone who's just joined us, that's got to be there. That black outline's there, it's going to be much quicker than if it isn't. So if you're trying to merge these colours, it's going to be much more difficult for you. But top tip, make sure that you leave that black outline to dry overnight, okay? 1 hour's not enough. You'll come down. The worst thing with cookies is if you do them and then you flood them, and then you don't, and then you suddenly come down because you've rushed it, and then the colours bled, you're going to be annoyed with yourself. You're better off sticking with it exactly like it is, and just bear in mind, when we film this, it drives me crazy, because what happens is I want to get this done as fast as possible, which of course is, you know, the aim of the game. I want to be able to show you everything I can as quickly as possible. But I have to wait. I can't do it any quicker. So I will film a part, and then I'll have to leave it for 2 or 3 hours. When I did my Royal Icing course, which if anybody wants to join is still available, the cookie section took me the longest because I had to keep waiting for these cookies to dry. You can't speed this process up. You go online, you look at YouTube, and these videos, they're going like mad. Look at this pipe. Oh, wow, that looks amazing. I could do that this afternoon. No chance. You need to be doing it over several days. It is much more a longer process than it looks online. It looks amazing when people do them, you know. Even my TikTok video, which is like a minute, I'm telling you now, that was about 2 days work because that took me so long to get them all to dry and everything. So just bear that in mind. There are ways you can speed things up, but as a general rule, that's what you kind of need to do. So just remember, it's really important to let that black line dry, because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. So we're going to use that with the consistency that you've got there. I'm going to show you some kind of flooding icing, because what I want to do, she says, hopefully, is attempt to flood one of the ice creams. I'm also going to show you how to pipe those as well, cookies, so that you've got a bit of a comparison going on there. Now I've got to just go and grab a palette knife and some water, so let me get that. Right, because I haven't got my assistant with me today. She hasn't woken up yet either. She's not come online, bless her. I'm watching out for her. I've got my iPad here, so I can see who's online, and she's not appeared yet. This is Kelly we're talking about here. Okay, so let's go back to this. Right, so if we pick up some, oh, let me get into my containers. We've just made this, whipping it up, haven't we? Now remember what I said, if you're going to make Hello Kitty, or not Hello Kitty, a kitty, I shouldn't say Hello Kitty. If you're going to make white, anything that's completely white, you will need to add some white powder or something to this to stop this going yellow. So if you look at it at the moment, it is actually white, but whipping it up dries yellow. I can't explain that to you enough. You must keep an eye on this, because if you come back the following day and go, oh no, it's gone yellow, you're not going to be so pleased with yourself. If you want to avoid it completely, you can make up royal icing using Merry White, a product called Merry White, which again we've got on our website, which is on tracyscakes.co.uk in the royal icing section. You can do it that way. You can also use another product called albumin powder, but again that's tends to be more on the yellow side. So if you want it more pure white, I would go back to using Merry White. So we've got our royal icing in here now. So this is the consistency that we made earlier, that you would then dye that black, and you would then pipe round your cookies with this. Now we're going to flood it, which means we're going to fill things in. So we're going to get a little bit of water, which I'm just going to pour in from this bowl over here. Just pour a little bit out, and then I'm going to just stir this until we can get a consistency that we will be able to flood with. So it's not so much, it's more about looking at it and making a decision as to whether it's right, rather than me going, it's 300 grams and 2 tablespoons of water. You need to look at it. You need to learn to look at it. So we're not quite there yet. I know what I'm looking for, so I'll put a little bit more water in. Now you just need tap water. You don't need anything special. You don't need special water. So we just need that. Well, not need it. I'm obsessed with kneading. Just mixing, everybody. Best black to use is, I think, is Rainbow Dust Black. I don't know. We've got Colour Splash Black, which is not too bad either. But you do need plenty of it to get it black. I know there's loads of pictures I see online of people going, help, my buttercream has gone grey. A good tip here for getting your buttercream black that works well is start on a darker base. So get yourself some cocoa powder and chuck that in, and then it will go brown first, and then add your blacking, because then it's much darker before you've started than trying to do something that's white. So when you have a look at this, you can see it's kind of settling a little bit like that. You can do a little test, take your palette knife and pull it through and count. Oh, I must stop talking for a minute to be able to do this. So let's see where we are. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now ideally I want to get to about between sort of 12 and 15, and that line has disappeared. Now the line is still there at the moment, so I probably need literally a tiny drop to take it a little bit more towards the icing I want. So go a little bit further. So we'll mix a bit more water in, like so. And then we'll have another little look. I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can have a look. So let's see if I put too much in. So we pull the line across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you see that's gone already. So I've put a little bit too much in. So I can adjust that by literally taking out a tiny bit of the pre-made royal icing and pop that in again. That will bring it back up again, rather than adding in icing sugar just kind of neat. Just put in a little bit of the mix that you've got. We'll have another little look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that actually would be acceptable. So anything between sort of 12 and 15 for this cookie. Now some of them I don't so on my royal icing course we do it slightly differently. The reason we're doing this one like this is because you've got the border on there already, so you want to make sure that you don't end up with icing that's just going to run, because otherwise it will just run straight over the border and then off, and that's no good to you. You want to try and keep it like this consistency if you can. Having looked at this now, I was thinking, gosh, I should have made up a bit more, so I'm going to dye this a purple colour, I think, because I've got purple next to me. So we'll use Great Violet. And we'll pop some purple in there. I don't really want it to be too purple. I should put a little bit in there. But spot. I find this is a really funny colour, this one. Violet full stop. If it's not strong enough, it doesn't look right. If it's too strong, it looks horrible. So you kind of got to go a bit careful with this one. I know what I mean. If it's not strong enough, it just looks weak and horrid. And if it's got too much in, it almost goes a bit kind of grey-like. I don't like it. So I'm a bit fussy about this one. See, that's quite a nice pastel colour. I'm getting a nice strong smell of the whipping it up while I'm doing this. I can smell it. So that's quite nice. So again, I don't want this icing to be very runny because I want to try and keep it under control. I'm going to show you putting it on an ice cream in a second. Well, that's the plan anyway, and see if we can get it going that way. So one of my ice cream cookie cutters. So if you've not seen these before, let me move this out of the way. We've got loads of cookie cutters on, but this is some of the most successful ones. This has been one of the most successful ones we've had, which is the coffee cup. But this is the ice cream one. And we're focusing on this one a little bit today. Although actually, no, we are going to do some on that one, because I've got a new ice cream topper that I'm going to use this week on a demonstration. I've got quite a short demo demo this week on Tuesday because I'm going away, and also because Sugar and Crumbs are doing another demo straight after me, so I'm not going to be on long for this week particularly. The other thing I wanted to show you, which is another idea, and you're all going to sit there going, oh no, what more ideas is she coming up with? But actually this is quite a good one, I think. So we all remember this cutter here, this 2-inch round cutter. Well, I made little donut cookies out of this last night. So all I did, whoops, this is my 2-inch round cutter, and I put that, you can see it spread a little bit, and then I took hold of the back of a nozzle actually, so this is just like nozzle 2, cut out the middle, and I made little donut ones as well. So you don't need a special cookie cutter for that, you can actually make your own, and then you can drizzle this kind of icing round it and pop some sprinkles on. So we're going to have a go at doing that because we want it, and this is quite a nice donut colour, isn't it? Now if you like our cookie recipe, we do have it available, but we do charge for it because we will send it to you on a very nice laminated sheet. And we only charge you the cost it costs us to print them. So we're not making any money on them. We are literally going, here's our cookie recipe if you would like it. It's on a lovely laminated sheet, and Kelly came up with this. So this is Kelly's cookies. We call it Kelly's cookie recipe, we call this. So now you can kind of do this either by putting it in a bag, which of course is completely fine if you want to do that, or someone else is agreeing with me about that colour. It is, isn't it? It's one of those things that if you don't put enough in, it just looks awful. Who says that? Yeah, Nikki, you're right. I think this goes kind of a horrible grey colour if you don't put enough colour in. It's a weird one, the violet. You have to keep very close eye on it. I think I'm just about happy with that. If I look at it against that, it looks fine. But yeah, you must put enough in. There we go. The cookie recipe, by the way, is totally fatal if you're on a diet, because it is very nice, unfortunately, which means that sometimes I have to go, oh no, I'm making cookies, and I have to try and do it in the morning when I'm not tempted. I'm much more tempted late afternoon, so I try and avoid doing it then. I'm hoping I'm sort of normally icing by then, otherwise I'm running into difficulties. I'm just going to find myself a glass, and it's easier with a glass. Or a cup, it doesn't matter. Hold on, let's see what I can find in my cupboard. There we go. Let's not make life too difficult. Let's put a cup in place. I'm just going to pop in a little piping bag over here, like so. It is a really nice recipe. It's a really nice recipe. But just be warned, lots of people have made them and then not got round to decorating them because they've eaten them all before they've actually finished. So yeah, it's kind of fatal really, isn't it? Why are we doing that? Okay, let's pop a little bit of that in there. Move that out of the way. So, can you freeze cookie dough? Don't freeze cookie dough. I make it and use it. I'm not sure. Can you freeze it? You might be able to. Or just make less, just half the recipe maybe. Give that a go. I'm not too sure. I just don't. I don't freeze it. Okay, I didn't put the icing nozzle in. It doesn't matter, to be perfectly honest, whether you do or don't with this. The only flaw in this plan is whether or not I know what I've done with my scissors, because obviously they're the one thing that goes missing every time I go live, and I have used them this morning, which means of course I've put them in a very strange place. So what have I done with them? Let's have a little look while I go rummaging for my scissors. I can see a nice sharp knife, which of course is absolutely no good to me whatsoever. Where have my scissors gone? I've got that much stuff on my table, you see. It's all these exciting things I want to show you. And then I bury things, and one of the... Oh, I know where I put it. Where's that tray gone? It was in there this morning. Right. Aha. You see, all is not lost. The scissors have appeared. Right, let's go back to what we were doing. Let's not get confused here. There we go. At least it's not chocolate, because otherwise I'll be sweating about getting that done. Let me get a green board as well so you can see it a bit clearer. It's always easier to see things on the green board. There we go. How about that? That looks better. Lovely. So we've made these mini donuts using the cookie recipe that we've got on the website, and we've used, so that was cut out like that. That was cut out as a central piece, and then it all went into the oven. I did the cooking yesterday, so it's not brilliant. And then what we're going to do we're going to put some little sprinkles in there as well. When you look at, there's loads of cakes you see online that have got donuts and things on them, and you know the problem with donuts is you kind of need to get them on the day, and I'm one of these people that would worry about that, because I'd be thinking, what if I turn up and I can't get any? I don't know, there's been a donut shortage or something. So I quite like this idea better because I've got more control over it, and then at least I know it's sort of all going to be done and okay. Now the other thing you need is either a scriber, which I can't locate currently, so I'm going to use a cocktail stick. Scriber or a cocktail stick to kind of help this go where you want it to go. So remember, this icing is quite running. I've just cut the end there, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this biscuit. I'm not going to put too much on, but I'm literally going to go round, and then I'm going to use my cocktail stick to kind of drag it where I want it to go, like so. So then I'm just going to swirl it and just kind of move it so it's sort of going in where I want it to go rather than where it thinks it wants to go. There's no guarantees though, having said that. You can already see it spreading a little bit, but you want to be able to still see a bit of the donut. So you can move it to the outside edge, just go round and round and round, cocktail stick or scriber. Okay, that's how you do it. But if you make this anything less than sort of 12 to 13 seconds, like we did at the start, you're going to find it's running all over the place. So we don't want that. Let's take it a little bit more towards the middle. Now, if it drips and it goes down the side or into the middle, I'm not actually that bothered. The odd drip here and there, if it starts running, then I might have something to say. But actually, that looks quite nice, I think, just to have a few little bits over the side. I want to take it out as far as I can. There we go, like that. How pretty is that? So you can make lots of like little pastel coloured things or donuts. There we go. And then before it sets, that's when you need to put your sprinkles on. So we've got some sprinkles on the website. There we go. And these are, now I've got to remember the name of these ones. They're with the, what are they called? These are the glitter strands. We've got these in little 30ml packs, 30g packs rather. And then you can literally just do these before they set. So you would then leave this to dry. It's got a really nice shine on it, as you can see. Now it's not running, but it's running enough that it's not too consistent. You can make these very quickly. I mean, I'm sort of faffing a little bit here to kind of show you at a slow speed, but you can make these very, very quickly. In fact, literally you can just do them and sprinkle them straight across. But isn't that pretty? There we go. Like so. So I would say put the sprinkles on kind of when it's stopped moving. So I'm pretty convinced that it's not going to get any more movement than this. I think that looks fine to me. But isn't that pretty? I think that's so lovely. Let me pick that up so you can see it. There we go. Can you have a good look at that under there? Now that looks like an actual donut, I think, and it's so easy to make. It's not difficult, and probably some of you have already got some of my cutters. So we've example this one here, and a piping nozzle, which we can use obviously to do other things. So I've just got piping nozzle number 2, which I've only used the back end of it. So if you've got a different one, it doesn't matter. And then obviously this one here as well, which is your 2.5, your 2-inch cutter here. Let's move that over there, and we'll just try a different one. And what we'll do, this is another one I've done. Actually, the other one might be better. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, it didn't spread as much as this one. If it does spread at all, you can always take a cocktail stick and just kind of chip back your cookie mix. So if you suddenly think, oh, I want that hole to be a bit bigger, then get your cocktail stick and just go round and round, and you can kind of tidy it up a bit. So don't feel defeated by this. If you're thinking, oh, you know, this is not working for me at all, just you know, sometimes people get spread on these cookies. So what I mean by that is that they then go into the oven, and then when you've come to bring them back out, you suddenly find they've got a lot bigger, and that's no good to you because you kind of lost their shape. You can do a couple of things. You can put them into the fridge, and you can set them so you can kind of stop them from spreading by popping them in the fridge before you bake them, and that works really well. So you could do something like that. There are things that you can do, but Kelly's recipe seems to hold really well. But don't forget, it is a lot warmer at the moment, so therefore the butter is more vulnerable, and you get sort of problems. Sorry, I'm just trying to cut a call that's coming through. Okay, so let's do this one as well. So let's do the same thing again. So we'll put some different sprinkles on this one. So we'll go round like this again. And then we'll use it again for the ice cream. I hope I've made enough mix. Feels like I have. So what I'm showing you here is don't overfill it, because if you overfill this and right from the word go, you've got nowhere to go. So that's where your cocktail stick or your scriber comes in, and you go round and round and round in circles like I'm doing here, just pushing the mix around so that you've got the opportunity to kind of then keep it under control. But you can see that once I take my cocktail stick off, it's then setting. So it's a sort of bit of both, and you see it's sort of pulling off at the edge over here. I like that look. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want it to look like a neat circle, because when you look at a donut, it doesn't work like that. It's really important that we're trying to replicate something. So you do need to take it right out to the edge, but if it does go a little bit on one side, that's fine. You can see this one has stopped spreading now, and that's purely because we had the mix correct. So if that mix isn't correct, and it starts pouring off the sides, then you need to go back, put in some of the original royal icing mix and pull it back a bit, because it probably means that you've put too much water in. And say if you do that test and you do it genuinely, and when I say genuinely, and you saw me pulling the palette knife through and counting, it doesn't mean that because you want it to be over with, you start speeding up your counting. That doesn't work. So if you pull the palette knife through and go, I need this to finish at like, you know, oh, I'm sure it's done, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then it's going to go wrong for sure. So you have to be genuine to yourself and think, right, what am I doing here? Then when you've done it, you see it's settling. I don't even need to pick the cookie up and tap it, it's just settling. And then we've got another set of sprinkles here. We've got sprinkles in packs of 3, I think, and they're with the cupcake cookie kits. Remember we had all those cupcake cookies the other week. This one is called Confetti, so we're going to pop this one here. This is a good one for, it's Pride Month at the moment, so this is a lovely one for Pride Month. So if you want to do any Pride decorated things, this is a nice rainbow mix, this one. We're going to do, I'm getting Kelly to do a live next week. She's going to be painting some flowers with rainbow colours. So Kelly is going to do that next week under supervision, obviously. I have told her, so it's not like a surprise. She suddenly wakes up this morning and hears that message online. She's not going to be panicking. But yeah, if you are doing anything for Pride, it's Pride Month, then these are quite cool for that. But don't they look lovely? And I reckon that if anybody, unless they specifically want donuts and you said to them, look, I can do these cookies, they're going to look really nice and all the other, I think they'd go for these. I really do, because I think they look really, really pretty. So if I put those side by side and then just lift them up so you can have a closer look, you'll see what I mean. Look how pretty they are. And notice this one hasn't spread any further. So this is now stable. That's not going to go any further. This one is also stable because I've got my icing correct. So if you've joined me now later on and you're thinking, hold on a minute, what did she do? Go back and watch it. It's really important. If you get that consistency right, it's going to be lovely and easy for you. If you don't, it's going to be a bit more tricky and difficult for you. So let's put those over there for the minute and let's get the, where is it? Now, hold on. Let's get the ice cream one out. Now, unfortunately, Madam Tracy was cooking these and wasn't looking what she was doing. So I think they're a little bit undercooked, but it doesn't matter for the demo. That's fine. But just keep an eye on it. I think I was, yeah, not paying attention. Quite honestly, there's no other way of putting it, is there? Now, I have to say, these are going to end up being Mr. Whippies at some point because I'm going to have to get my ice cream flakes in to do this because who doesn't just love a Mr. Whippy? And I am a big fan of it, clearly. So I'm going to be doing that in the next, I'm going to do a few extra videos, I think, this week because I'm leading up to this cake I want to do. I think the only way I'm going to do it is to do some of it in advance because I can't get it all to set in time before I have to go live. How long to take to set? That's a very good question. Okay, literally they will take, you'd be surprised actually, if you did these in the morning, you probably would be able to serve them by late afternoon, I'd say. So they do set relatively quickly. It depends then on, let's say for example, you make a load of these and then you're going to put them in a box and then you're going to take them somewhere. And if they're all touching each other and they're piled up, then that's probably more of an overnight set. Whereas if you're going to put them on a plate and move them from one room room to the other and then serve them, then you'd be better, you can cope with a sort of shorter amount of time. But these are something you can make in advance, and that's quite nice because then you'd be able to do them before you go anywhere. So if you want to do them for a party, for example, you can make these in advance. You haven't got to make them on the morning, which is actually quite nice. It's quite nice to have some things that you don't have to do right on the day, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of sugar paste for this. I'm going to do a bit of a combo for this one. So we're going to do half sugar paste and half royal icing. So I'm going to get this sugar paste here. Now I'm just going to have to leap up because I've put the colour I want away again. Right, there it is. Now I'm going to get this on my website shortly as a permanent fixture because I've used it now so much and it's the best colour ever. It's called Autumn Leaf. We don't have it at the moment, but I am going to put it on there because I've been using it so much. In fact, I've used it so much, it's absolutely everywhere. But this is a really lovely colour. It's brilliant for ice cream cones. It's brilliant for teddy bears. It really is a lovely colour. So I am going to put this on. In fact, I'll try and do it this afternoon. So a little bit on there like that. And then I'm just going to give that a knead through. Yeah, I tell you, the problem with the cookies, they all taste so nice. That Nikki is right, you do end up eating double. It's awful, but they are so nice. So there we go, let's give that a knead. See how we get on there. All right. So you can see the kind of, you're looking for like a sort of waffle cone colour. Yeah, it's called Autumn Leaf. It's Sugar Flare. I will get some because I keep going on about it. And I'm using Satinara sugar paste. Let me get my rolling pin. I had this amazing tidy up, but of course that never helps me when I'm live because I can't actually find anything. And we'll use, okay. So let's roll this out. Now also on top of that, we're going to need, going back to our royal icing here. So we're going to just get out a little bit more royal icing. And we're going to add some water to it. So we're going to make a glue. Now we've had a few discussions about this. People have been going, my cookies are going soft and all this stuff. I don't think this should affect it, but what you'll find is that it should be the baking that stops them going soft. They will go soft anyway. They're not a particularly rock hard cookie anyway. By nature, they are a much softer cookie. But we're making up a bit of a glue here. So I've got my royal icing. Let's give that a bit of a mix. And then what we're just making is a glue. Now I prefer to use this than using piping gel. You can use piping gel, but I don't like using piping gel so much because it doesn't actually glue anything on. It's just sticky. And I like to know that these things are not moving anywhere. So I'm just going to paint the bottom of this like so. I'm actually going to do the travel cup at the same time. Where's that one? Where are we? Again, another one of my undercooked specials. It's my own fault. There we go. Do another one of these. Oh no, not that one. Let's find one I didn't actually mess up. Okay, let's do this one, but we'll do that in a different colour. So we'll paint that in a second. Where did I put my thing? There it is. It's right in front of me. Let's move that there. Okay, have a little shift round. So all we're going to do is just take this, which we're going to knead it a bit more first because I can still see the colour. So give that an extra knead. And then I'll pop a bit more icing sugar down just so that it doesn't stick to the board. When you're cutting out, these boards are great, don't get me wrong, they are great because you don't use as much icing sugar. However, you do need to make sure they're moving because if you cut a shape out and it's not moving, when you go to pick it up, it distorts it. So it is actually really important that you put a little bit of icing sugar underneath like that, okay? Then we're going to take hold of this. Now I'm only really interested in that lower part there, so I can just pop that on like that, and then I'm going to just move it. Can you hear that? So I'm just moving it around. I'm just going to move that up there a little bit so you can see a bit better, and take that off. And then I'm going to cut. I don't want you to get jealous about my knife here, although I don't know if I can get this out yet. I've only just bought it. I've got a brand new knife. It's very nice. I know you're all going to go, where'd you get that from? And it's not from my shop, unfortunately. I'll have to try and get some. Right, hold on. Oh, that's the packaging coming off. Look at this. Maureen's going to like this. It's got flamingos on it. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to cut it. I've got it for my lives. because it's a flash knife and I liked it. Right, I'm going to put that out the way so I don't cut myself on it. And then I'm going to pop that on there, like so. So that leaves me that area there for my ice cream. And then we're going to mark it. Now you can kind of do that in two different ways. You can either use the plastic side scrapers that I'm always going on about. Big or small, it doesn't matter. You can use a knife. The only problem with the knife is you end up cutting through it. The plastic side scraper seems to give you a little bit more of a realistic print. So if I take this like this and then go across, it gives you, can you see, you get like a double sort of thicker line, whereas if you do it with a Dresden tool or something, it's not as realistic waffle wise. And I say, bear in mind, I am the queen of 99s. I know where they all are, which ones taste the best. Terrible, but that's me. So you can go across like that. You can always go back again as well. So I find the plastic side scrapers, they've got just the right amount of width. Let's go that way and that way as well. There we go, like so. Right, then what we're going to do is we're going to take hold of, I'll put you a link up for the knife. It's not from us, unfortunately, but I will do it. Don't worry, I'll tell you where it's come from at the end. So we're going to take this same colour here, and we're going to do, now if you wanted it to be sort of, oh gosh, think of the words then. Level. So if you wanted to do that level and then that level, you'd have to let it dry, but we're not. We're just going to put the whole thing down. But you could put a few kind of little drips coming down onto the cake. So you can just take your ice cream like so and just pull it down, or your royal icing, I should say. So let's put that down like that. Then we're going to get our cocktail stick. Can you see what I've done there? Everyone wants the knife. I will put it up where it's from. It's not a mystery, but I will put it up. I can't do it at the moment because I'm on my own. Okay, so we're going to go around like this and to spread this out. Okay, like so. Then we're going to add our sprinkles, obviously, and that's when you could add other things. So if you wanted to add a little heart or you know, all the various toppings that you get. Now if you're going to put a topping on it, you know, if you fancy putting like a I was trying to think now, like a raspberry sauce, I suppose, that's what I was thinking. Then you would leave it to dry and then you could come back to doing it from there. You need that to dry, otherwise you'll find it will all blend through. But dripping the icing down the side there, I think looks quite cool. The other thing you can do with this, which I am going to do, is leave it to dry completely. In fact, I'll do it on this one and we won't add the sprinkles, is leave this to dry, and I do mean completely, so I'll come back in on Monday and do this, and then take an edible pen. You know, we've had lots of conversations about these edible pens. Get hold of an edible pen, like a little black one, and you can put two little eyes and a smiley face. Now the stuff is called kawaii, which Kelly always laughs at me because I always end up saying it wrong, but they are very cute sort of little Japanese foods. Now some of you will have seen similar examples to this on one of our sheets, which I'm now looking for, which is called Fun Food, and I absolutely love it. I really do. I think it's so cute, and that's what I'm going to do to these ice creams. So I'm going to leave it to dry. I'm looking through. Oh, I think I've got one. Unbelievable. Got a big packet of brilliant. Yes, I have. You're all going to go, aha, I know what this is. You'll have seen this before. So this is called sort of like in the style of kawaii type thing. So you can see the little donut. But these little tiny smiley faces look very, very cute on this kind of thing. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave my ice cream as is, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do my two little eyes and a smile using my black edible pen, but I do need them to set, so it's very important that I leave them to set. But this Fun Food one as well, you could combine this sheet, because don't forget this is one of our cake topper sheets and they're on offer this weekend, don't forget everybody. You can cut out little bits of that and put them on the ice cream as well. So for example, if I wanted to put the cherries on, in fact we've got another sheet that's got cherries on, let me find that one, because I've just seen that one. There we go. We've got this one here called Smiling Cherries that we've been using on the other one. Now that's quite, let's see how big it is actually. Might be able to use that on here. Let's have a little look. Oh, they're quite big for this. Well, I could use one. Let's have a go at using one and see what it looks like. So I'm just going to cut it out. So again, these are on the sugar sheets. Now, for those of you that joined us later on, the sugar sheets are on offer this weekend. So these are the cake topper sheets. They're 10% off this weekend, but you must apply the code. If you don't apply the code and you ring me up and say, I forgot, then I'm going to need you to put the order in again, because it will calculate it for you, and it's going to take me too long to be fiddling about doing that. So it's very important that you use the code Cake Topper. And the code Cake Topper is going to get you 10% off these sheets, okay? So off the Cake Topper section of our website. It's a very simple code, and you can put in anything else in your basket. It won't make any difference because it will only take the 10% off these. All right, so any of the cake toppers, which we haven't actually got to yet because I've been so distracted by these cookies, but we will do shortly. So I'm cutting kind of round the edge. You don't have to cut round the edge. If you wanted to cut in a bit nearer, you could. You can decorate it like that. There we go. Can you see? So you can kind of then take that off and add this to the decoration. It's just kind of a bit of fun, isn't it? I've been obsessed with this. So you could put those on top like that if you wanted to. So if you didn't fancy the idea of painting them, you could just put one straight on like that. There you go. Like so. And that then will just set. And you can either do it when it's still wet, or you can leave it. Now, if I want to just make sure it's set, I'm just going to take a little cocktail stick. I'm just going to press that down because I want to make sure that it's all in place. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry. So you've got a bit of a combo going on here. So you've got sugar paste here, royal icing here, and then you've got your sheets here. Leave it all to dry and it should be fine. Again, if you wanted to put sprinkles on, you would do it at this point. So if you wanted to take your few little extra sprinkles and put those on, you could. So that cherry one there is come from a sheet called Smiley Cherries, I think I called it, something like that. The other one was called Fun Food, and Fun Food is the one that's got all the different foods on it. So it's got the cupcake and the donuts and the, what else has it got on it, macarons and all sorts of things on there. So I'm just putting that on there. I'm going to push that out the way like so. But they are fun, and I just think they're really pretty to make. There we go. But I will probably end up doing an extra Facebook Live this week, probably on Monday, so that I'm ready for my demo on Tuesday, because I won't be able to do this live because it won't set in time for me then to be able to stand them up and put them on the cake, and that's exactly what I intend to do with them. So we'll move that out of the way for a second. Let's get rid of that rubbish. So let me pick that up so you can have a little look. There you go. How about that? That is so cute, isn't it? I don't think you can not smile at something like that. I just think it's so lovely. And I love all this kind of style. You're going to be looking at a lot of my cake toppers and going, she's got a style going on here. I do kind of like that cartoony type thing. It's very appealing to me. It's just kind of what I like. And this one here, which has been honestly the most successful one we've ever had, which is the travel cookie cutter. Everybody loves this one. It's brilliant. Again, just take hold of some royal icing. Just look how little I'm putting on. It's not wet, it's sticky. I'll tell you what, when you make this up, try and imagine you're making up that white PVA glue, okay? If you're making up a white PVA glue sticky kind of thing, that is what you're aiming for. You're not aiming for liquid going all over this and making it sticky and horrid. We are aiming for like a PVA glue consistency, and that will help you to do this enormously. You won't then have any problem with it. So let me give this a bit of a knead. I might need a bit more actually. Let's just get a tiny bit more. Again, you could flood this, but just remember, if you're going to do that, you've got to let it set overnight. So you can't immediately start decorating it. You would need to leave it. But I'm just going to show you how I've got this other, of course I've got another topper. Of course I have, because I can't help myself. I'm obsessed with them. Yeah, they do look nice together, and that's the aim of my demo on Tuesday this week, is I'm doing an ice cream donut theme on Tuesday evening, and I'm not on for very long. I'm only on for about an hour and a quarter, I think, so I've got to do a few things in advance this week to make sure, to make sure I get it done in time, otherwise I'm going to run out. So that's what I'm going to do, I think, because it's the weather for it, isn't it? And obviously I will be away at the end of the week sampling as many Mr. Whippies as I can find. That and Scampi, but we'll have another discussion about that another day, another whole story, that one. So we take our travel cookie cutter, press that down. Now the reason we went for this one, or the reason I went for this one, is because it's so lovely. It is, there's just so much you can do with it. It's a really lovely cutter. So we'll take that out. I've just dropped that on there. Of course I did. That's okay. It's nicely rescued. There we go. Right, put that over there. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and we'll lay that on there. Make sure we get it in the right place. I think these are all fun for like back to school, out, all those kinds of things. Let's press that down. There we go. And then we'll take, where's that plastic side scraper gone? What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, these are great for making anything like this. So I'm going to just take that and I'm going to just rock that across there. So I'm just using the plastic side scraper. Again, similar to what I did to the ice cream cone. It just makes a really nice, genuine, straight line, correct dent for this kind of thing. It sounds ridiculous, but it does. It's the right thickness. It looks correct. Whereas anything, it could be more difficult. So if you're coming across with a Dresden tool, you can go a little bit sort of all over the place. It's okay if you've already put the line in, because then it's much easier, but you don't get the same kind of effect that you do if you use plastic side scrapers. I think that looks so much better. Now we have another, we've got 2 new sheets this week. Now this one we introduced at the end of last week, and I said we were going to use it, and then we ran out of time, so I didn't, but I've got it here now, so we're going to do it now. I know, who's saying that about Mr. Whippy? Nikki. I'm not joking. I love it. I'm very fussy about it now. You see, I go sadly from place to place going, that wasn't a very nice Mr. Whippy, or that was a very nice Mr. Whippy. I know, it's just horrendous, isn't it? Right, so we've got this new sheet which we bought out last week, which I called something like, I can't remember. Oh, fun quotes. I had to think then what I'd called it. Fun quotes. Again, it's on an A4 sheet. Don't forget these sheets are on offer this weekend. They're 10% off. So if you want to save yourself some money, then you can get these this week. And I just thought these were quite cute for kind of like teenage type things, or anything cute. So I'm just going to cut, what should we have? Let's cut that one off. So all you do is just cut them off. Yeah. And it's got a little hatched line round it, so you can cut sort of quite close to that if you want to. They're just kind of fun. I have to tell you now, if I'd known about this when my daughters were at school, and they're probably thinking, thank goodness she didn't know about this when we were at school, I would have made these biscuits up with messages on and put them in their lunch boxes, and they would have had something to say to me when they come home from school. It would either be brilliant, loved it, or oh my god mum, you're so embarrassing. I'm probably going to go for the second option, I think would be what they would have said to me. But anyway, they probably would have laughed, actually, knowing my two. They probably would have thought it was funny. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to just cut around this. I quite like that stitched edge. I think that's fun. So I want to try and do that as close as I can. Just kind of look for different things as well. I don't want to just be sat purely in kind of a generic range. I want to be looking at, you know, young kids, teenagers, all sorts of different age groups. So we've done a lot on Father's Day this year, and I'm going to recap those Father's Day products shortly. So if you're looking for ideas for men for Father's Day, I will be going through those in a minute, because there are a lot, and they are lovely. See how cute is that? Because it says cute, I know. Right, then you've got to peel the backing off, don't forget. Let me just get my nail in there so I can get it done. There we go. So that's got to come off, you see, like so. Very important. And then we're going to take another paintbrush and dip it in some water. Now I'm going to work out where to put this. I kind of quite like it a bit of an angle, I think, really. So I'm just going to do that across there and lay that in like that. Oh, that looks good. Happy with that. And actually, I'll tell you what I have got in the other sprinkles. I've got some stars. So I can get my stars out. Where's my piping bag? There it is. I know it's got lilac in it, but actually that won't matter particularly. And then we can, as long as I can keep it under control, which I should be able to, we can take these little stars and stick those on as well. So they're just fun. A little on there. Okay. They're different, they're modern, they're just more interesting, I think. There we go. Put another one up there. Put a few more in because I'm getting carried away now. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do as well. For anyone who does cocoa butter painting, you can always paint this lid, or you can do the lid in a different colour. You might like to do the lid with, you know, maybe red or yellow or another different colour. It's entirely up to you. I just quite like this kind of thing. I just think it's different. There you go. Charlotte and Kelly, they would have loved that in their lunchbox. I know they would. I'll tell you what, if they don't, someone else would have seen it and gone, look at that, Charlotte and Kelly got that in their lunchbox. That's not fair. Let me lift that up so you can see it. So there you go. There's loads of things on this sheet. All sorts of fun. Number one, oh yeah, yay. Oh, it's always trendy stuff, isn't it? Light bulbs, strawberries, all sorts of things that you can put on there that you could put in onto a cookie. And it doesn't have to be the travel cup, but that's kind of the one I've gone for because it is so popular at the moment. And I kind of wanted to show you what it is that you could do with that sheet. So again, that sheet is part of the cookie cutters this week. Now I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'm going to be very cautious with it and put it behind, because what I want to show you now is something I'm going to quickly put together for Tuesday. So this one here is a new one, and it's called ice cream topper. What a surprise. It's quite big, and the reason I've done it quite big is because I want it to stand up the side of a cake. So if I turn it round and measure it for you, you're going to see how big it is. So you can see we've gone into full summer mode at the moment. So it's actually 6.5 inches, so it's quite tall. Most cakes that we end up doing normally come in round about 5. So it's going to stand above the cake, but I want that to do. I particularly want this thing here to stand over the top of my cake. So I'm happy with that size. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take hold of this and I'm going to cut along here like so. I'm going to cut around it and I'm going to mount this on some modelling paste. Now we use Saraceno, however you want to pronounce it. I've always called it Saraceno, but who knows? Every time I listen to a different live, someone else is calling it something else. So hey ho, it doesn't matter. You can call it what you want. But we use Saraceno, which we have in single packs and double packs. And that's what we use for mounting this kind of thing onto a background so that it's going to stand, but you do need to do it in advance. Now, because I'm going around the outside edge of this, I don't want to go up close to this. I quite like a white line round things as well. This is me being fussy again. I do have the world's biggest scissors on the go at the moment, which is a bit annoying, but never mind. I will get round that. So I'm going to go all the way around here. So what I'm doing is I'm preparing this topper for a cake that I'm planning to do on Tuesday. So if you want to see this cake in full, you've got a choice. You can either go to YouTube and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel because it will appear on YouTube midweek, or you can watch it being done live, which is on Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles Facebook page, which I do 2 a week. But it won't be one next week, but it will be on Tuesday at 6:30 because we've got our class on Wednesday, remember? And then I'm going away for a couple of days, so to go and test all the Mr. Whippies down at Brighton. And my husband will get dragged along with this, whether he likes it or not. Actually, he quite likes them as well, but you know, how many is too many in one day? So you see, I have to go downstairs overnight to kind of warrant it, I guess. Anyway, right, let's cut that bit off so it's not hanging and annoying me. So we're going to come round. So it's a nice simple cutout, really. It's not anything too precise. There we go. Round we go. So this topper here is $1.99, but remember, if you put the code in Cake Topper, you're going to get 10% off this weekend, okay? So anything that's a cake topper, we're going to go back through them all shortly when I've put this onto the Saraceno paste, ready for Tuesday. So just remember that you've got a good offer this weekend, 10% off. So if you're stocking up on them, and you can stock up on them, they will survive. The only thing I would say to you is please keep them sealed, because if you get the air to them, they will dry out, and they will dry out super quick as well. You need to make sure that you've kept them sealed in a bag, and then you won't have that problem. Right, there we go, like so. Take that out, come on. There we go. Okay, so that's our topper there, or it can either go on top of a cake or it can go on the side. I kind of envisage mine was going to go maybe on the side, I think. I might change my mind, but if I do change my mind, I will show you how I've done it anyway. So I'm going to take hold of, where have I put it? Saracino. I've got so much stuff on my desk, honestly. So Saracino paste, which when you get it feels like a brick. So help it by putting it in the microwave. That makes life a little bit easier. So I'm going to pop that in now. Just hopefully not overcook it. And then I'm going to get my another green board. Like so. Pop that on there. It stands out better, doesn't it? So I've just popped this into the microwave. The reason I've done that, it's got cocoa butter in it, you see, and if you heat it up, it will soften it. And then that makes it a lot easier to deal with. Otherwise, it's extremely hard. It's not pleasant to mix. So that's going to help you by literally putting it in there. I'm going to just knead it now. So this is going to set hard. It's not going to set rock hard, but it will set hard enough to support this for where I want it to be on my cake. So that's the aim of this, really. So give that a bit of a knead, and then we'll put some icing sugar down so we can roll and cut it out. Roll that in there. Let's hope I've got enough to do it. If not, I'll have to do a bit more. So I'm sure I have. Make it a little bit wider across the bottom. There we go. Let's have a look and see what we're doing. Tiny bit more at the bottom. Still needs to be a little bit wider. It's very sunny here today. There are some clouds in the sky, but it is sunny. So I'm in full ice cream mode at the moment. There we go. Tiny bit more there, and then we're done. Right, brilliant. Okay, let's pop this on like so. And then I'm going to actually use my little wheel actually to get round this. Now, if anybody goes, oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, if I could get them, I would. There's a PME tool, but unfortunately things are difficult to get hold of at the moment, so we don't have this on the website. We will at some point, I'm sure, but oh dear. Yeah, so a knife is fine, just use a knife. I'm just trimming it lightly just so that I don't paint excess water all over everything, and then I'll come back and tidy it up a little bit. It's just to kind of help myself a little bit. And then we'll take that off. Okay, and then we'll paint that with some water. There we go, let's grab that. And we'll go across like that. So again, just damp, don't make it too wet, otherwise you find that you know, you might end up getting water all over it. So I've got hair there, let's get rid of that. There's always one, isn't there? Right, that's that. Okay. And then we'll take hold of this, peel off the backing. So remember, it's got the backing on here. So very carefully, just peel it back. Just be careful. We do get an ice cream van, but do you know what? Ever since they've built the new houses in our road, I think there's more kids living up these roads, so he doesn't tend to come down to us as much. I know. It's horrendous. I have to get my own ice cream van. I think that's an aim. I did tell my husband that the other week. He worries because I follow these things through, you see. Okay, right. So we'll start at the bottom. No, we won't. We'll start at the top. I've changed my mind. We'll start at the top. Let's see where we are with this. Okay. So start at the top and then very carefully lower it down. That's better, until you've got it all in place. How cool is that? It's so nice. I love this. Then I'm going to get my knife. I'm going to get this bright coloured knife out again, which you all want, of course. I'm not going to leave it as a mystery. I will put a post up where I got it from, so I'm going to put a link there as well. Okay, it's a bit uber sharp at the moment, so I'm having to be a bit careful. You don't want to ruin your boards, although this board is quite old actually. You can use you can always cut on a cake board or something. I'm just going to go round and just tidy this up a bit. I'm not going to be too perfect with it, but you can kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to do here. I think that's the idea, is that we're just kind of making this a really nice topper. We're going to leave to dry. Yeah, I need an ice cream van. Yes, please, start saving. Oh dear. My friend has got a frozen yoghurt van and I've been on board. I'll tell you what, it was well exciting. It was brilliant. I loved it. And then round here. But it's not the same as Mr. Whippy, is it really? I won't tell you what Kelly and I do in the summer. Well, I will tell you what Kelly and I do in the summer. So locally, there is a place you can go. It's called Coombe Hill. It's a nice walking spot, and it's very close to us here. And Kelly and I, in the summer when we've had enough, we go up to Coombe Hill, and when it's really, really warm, and we go and visit the ice cream van, and we should go out and enjoy the sun, all the rest of it, but we don't. We sit in the car in the air conditioning. And eat our ice cream. That's terrible, but we don't mind. We laugh. We think it's funny. Okay, so there we go. I'll just trim that round there like that. So I've got my lovely shape that I'm going to use next week. Thank you. Let's get that. Okay, we're done. Trim that up. There's a little bit there I've missed. That's going to drive me crazy. I'll just have to do that. Right, so this is going to then dry. So by the time I come back in on Monday, this will be ready to roll. As long as it doesn't get any warmer, it should be fine. There we go. Make sure it's moving as well, very important. I can always use my finger just to kind of go into any of the little crevices that I need to go back into. So if I want to tidy anything else up, I could just go round and do that. But there you go. That's going to be my topper this week. It's funny, isn't it? I know. So that's going to be standing on the front of my cake. So my cake is going to be here, and that's going to be standing up the side of it. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to leave that to dry now, because that is going to need to dry at least overnight, which will be a couple of days actually by the time I need to use it. So that's fine. I've got myself all done in advance, so we can leave that over. So this is available on the, don't forget, it's on the cake topper page. It's also on Let's Shop Cake Live. And remember that this weekend it's 10% off the cake toppers by using the code Cupcake Topper in the bit where it says discount code. If you don't put that discount code in, I'm going to make you do the order again, because it will calculate it, and I need you to do that for me. So if you forget, I'll happily cancel your order, but you will have to go back in and do it again. So let's have a little look at some of the cake toppers that we've got. This applies to all of them this weekend, so all our toppers. So let's have a little look at the selection. I've already shown you this one. You've obviously seen that one, which is new, and I've shown you cherries as well. You can see I've chopped little bits out of things, haven't I? Now, last week we made jam pots, which were very popular actually, and we made them out of this sheet here, which is a gingham sheet. So it's two of those, and then Kelly's design of these little honey pots. So there was a little bee and a jam pot there. So they come as a kit, so all three of them are together. Again, they're the same as the others. They've got 10% off this weekend only, but you must use that code Cake Topper in the discount code to get you 10% off. Also, we've got graduation coming up. Then we have mermaids. This was another new sheet, and the little elephants as well, all very cute and lovely. But also going back, I mean, we've got so many sheets now, it's unbelievable. Fun food, love this sheet. I'm obsessed with it. There's going to be more to come with that, I think. I can see myself doing more little donuts and things now I've discovered what I did yesterday. Father's Day's on the way. Don't forget Father's Day. We have these ones, which we use for the coffee cups, which is Have a Nice Day. I love this one. It's one of my favourite ones. We literally just peel one off and put Have a Nice Day on it. It's the kind of thing you get written on in a coffee shop. And also we have the floral sheet as well. Again, we use this on the travel cup, but you can also use it on anything really, biscuits, all sorts of bits and pieces that you can use this on. So it's a really lovely sheet. You could wrap it round a cake. So if you cut it in half, you're going to find that I've set it up. Let me measure this for you and I'll tell you what I mean. So this is 8 inches across here. So if you cut it at 4, you're going to be able to wrap one of these going round your cake and then round a bit further. So if you do, let's see how big this is. So this is 10.5 inches this way. So you're going to have 2 sheets that are going to measure approximately 20 centimetres. If you wrap that round a cake, I don't know if I've got a cake nearby, I don't think I have. Wrap that round a cake, let's have a little look at that. I reckon that's going to be about a 7-inch round cake that this will go all the way round. Again, put it onto some sugar paste, mount it onto the sugar paste. You need nice straight edges to do this, or you can drop it a little bit lower and just have a smaller strip like this. Maybe put it round the centre of your cake. That always looks really, really nice. And you might find that you'll be able to use your sheet like that. So there's lots of different ways you can use this one. We listen. I just want you to know on here that we listen to what you say, and we've had people asking for different types of toppers. So we've got dinosaurs. Somebody asked for dinosaurs. We've got dinosaur toppers, and we've got a dinosaur large sheet to go on top of a cake, and this is suitable for an 8-inch square cake because it's quite big. But again, you just cut it out like that. Make sure you put some water on your cake and then pop it on. We've got the NHS ones as well. So if you're making cakes for the NHS, and believe you me, I've made a lot of cakes for the NHS. I've given away every single cake that I've made on all my lives now to the NHS. In fact, I've done near enough all the hospitals around here now, and some of the community groups, the midwives, all these things. So if you fancy making some cakes for the NHS, these are on there as well. So they're just some more toppers. To say there are about 48 different ones on there now. It also includes Belle. The butterfly is about to come out. There's Belle, so we've got her on there as well. This was one of the most popular ones that we ever had, which was the little rabbit. And this rabbit, honestly, just sold and sold and sold. It's such a nice topper. Butterflies, someone's just mentioned butterflies. We have 2 different types of butterflies. These are my sample packs, everybody, so just bear with this because I chop at them when I'm live. This is the one that's called Realistic Butterflies. It's on wafer paper. I like the wafer paper ones because you can manipulate them very quickly to stand. And that's why I particularly like the wafer paper ones. So they're a little bit cheaper than the sugar paste ones. They're like $2.99 for a sheet. This one, you get 12 butterflies on a sheet. So there's a nice selection of butterflies on there. I've called them realistic butterflies because they are the ones that look like actual butterflies versus these ones, which are kind of a bit more pastel. These ones are on sugar paste, but you can also get them on wafer paper as well. And again, I've just sort of given you my kind of preference with these. I just prefer the wafer paper ones because they stand much quicker. We've also got a lovely jungle sheet. This is one of the nicest sheets that we've got, and again, you can see I've actually separated this one to make it a little bit easier for you, but you can wrap that round the cake as well, so that's something else that you can do there as well. There's ballet dancers. Somebody asked this for ballet dancers. I think this one got set in the pack. So there's little ballet dancers as well, so if you're doing anything for anyone who enjoys ballet, and we are going to continue to expand this range because it has been so popular with all the different designs, all these cute designs I keep finding everywhere that I love to bits, that I buy all these licenses for because they are so lovely. So we are able to print them all. I've been very pleased with them. There's the little dinosaurs. We've done those anyway. Little dinosaurs there as well. Right, okay, now I'm going to come back on screen for a second. So don't forget, with those cake toppers, they are on offer this weekend, but you have to put that code in, which is basically cake topper. It's very simple, and it's 10%, and that will take them off your cake topper. So if you then order a sunflower mould and some icing sugar, whatever it will only do it on that part, okay? So it's only 10% off the cake toppers at the weekend. So if you're suddenly thinking, oh, I didn't get 10% off, you will only get it on that part of your order, okay? But you must use that code to say, otherwise I'm going to send you back and make you do it again. Also remember as well, if you have placed more than one order at the weekend, then we will refund you the postage, but we only do it at the point of dispatch. And the reason we do that is if we don't do it any other way, what happens is it just wipes it off the system, and then we're in trouble because then we can't find your order. So if you've placed 2 orders and perhaps one item's not in stock at the moment, your 2 orders will continue to sit there until we dispatch it, because that's the only way we can keep track of it. And then once it goes out, then we will refund it. So if you are thinking, oh, I've paid 2, just wait, and then we will do it. Just to hold on, we will get around to doing it. The masonite boards are in, by the way, for anybody else. You know, we talked about, somebody emailed me and said, can we get the bigger ones? The bigger ones have now arrived. So there's 3 different designs for these. We've got celestial, there we go. We've got marble, and we've got the wood one. Now the wood one I used a couple of weeks ago on another live. Let me bring that up. Where have I put it? There it is. Oh, press the button, Tracy. There we go. So that's the one I use for this, which is the wood effect one. So if you're thinking of doing anything like maybe a Father's Day cake or something, and a bit into all the DIY type stuff, it's a really nice board. But we have got it in the bigger size now, as well as the smaller size. So we've got the 10-inch and the 12-inch size. So if you wanted to do a bigger cake, the cake that I did in that picture, I think was like a 5-inch round or something like that. So it was a 5-inch round on a 10-inch board, and I needed a bit of space because I wanted to put the tools assortment mould on there. So if you want to do extra bits and pieces that kind of go around it, then you will obviously need to allow a little bit of space for that as well. So just remember, we have got all the Father's Day moulds. We'll just run through those very quickly. Ooh, I don't want to drop this pile that's next to me. So we've got tool assortment, which is the one I've just shown you there on that cake there. So that's in. These are £4.95. We've got plenty of these. I think there are a few now that are getting a little bit dodgy. I think this might be one of them. This is gardening tools, which is also, now I used that one a few weeks ago as well on a plant pot. Let me show you that one. So that one I used on a plant pot a few weeks ago as well. That's a really nice mould. Very cute little things. Too big for cupcakes though. So if you want to do cupcakes, you will need to switch over to a different mould, and that is the FPC. I'll show you what it is. It's this one. So if you want to do cupcakes with a gardening theme, you need this mould here, which is the FPC gardening tool mould. Do not get it muddled up with this one like I managed to do, sending them out, because this is a lot bigger. So this is too big for cupcakes. This is perfect for cupcakes. So just decide what it is you're going to do. If you're going to make a big cake, then you need this one. If you're going to make cupcakes, you're going to need this one. Okay, so 2 different gardening ones there. For the sports fans out there, there are the sports balls, which is the golf one, and also the sports one as well. And remember, we did these on cupcakes a little while back. So we've got golf balls that are all on this one, and then this one has a rugby, football. Well, this one is a baseball / tennis, and that one's the basketball one. Again, you can just paint them all up and they look really nice. We've also got ties. We've got a few of these left, literally a few. We did have Hawaiian shirts, but we've sold out of that one, so we've got some more Hawaiian shirts on order, and eventually we will be able to get those back in again as well. Okay, so lots of ideas for Father's Day, because just remember, next weekend I will put a big post up about Father's Day next weekend, just to remind you all, because by the time I come back and not do a live next Saturday, you're going to find it's all past, and then you'll be panicking and thinking, oh, I forgot to order the stuff for Father's Day, or whatever it is you're doing. Don't forget as well, you can also use these for cakes for men as well, so anything, or women even, anybody who plays golf. My mother-in-law plays golf, so she'd like the golf ball one for sure. Anything like that really, you know, it doesn't have to all be for men, does it? But it's just quite nice every so often just to kind of point the finger a little bit more at maybe this would look quite nice for something like that, sports orientated. So we've had a bit of a mix really, haven't we? We've done lots of cookies, and we've done sort of very summery type things, and then we've also looked at some of the things for Father's Day as well. So I'm just looking down at my list here to make sure I've not missed anything. Number 1, don't forget, it's the cake pricing class coming up, and that is on Wednesday. So this is your almost last opportunity to book it. It's £10. It's Wednesday evening. and it starts at 6:30 and it will finish approximately 8:30, and it's all about how to price your cakes, not mine, your cakes, how to deal with customers. So that's every customer that from the ones that are the friends and the ones that are the family members and the ones that are the customers, so how to deal with those, and also how to stop yourself working for less than the minimum wage. So in other words, having a really good look at what it is that you're doing and trying to justify it. So it's a really big class. It's going to be live. If you can't make it on Wednesday evening because you're thinking, well, I'm out, you know, I can't do it, you can go back and watch it. You will have all the downloads that are going to come with it, so you will be able to download your price sheets, download the points that I'm going to make about your customers, and give you something to think about. So if you are doing cakes for customers, or doing cakes for anybody, or charging any money of any description, or, and this is a really good scenario, this one, if someone at work, and I've had this because I used to work in a work environment, in an office kind of thing, and someone says to you, oh, could you make a cake for me? Oh, wow, that's great. How much do I owe you? At least cover your costs, know what they are. So you do need to know what they are, because you want to get your money back, don't you? Because otherwise it's going to be like, you know, there's no point saying, actually give me a tenner. And then you look at it and go, oh my God, it cost me 20. You know, I've £10 down now. That's okay if you don't mind, but you might after it happens a few times. You want to get yourself a reputation for being a cheap charging cake decorator as well, because believe you me, that spreads like wildfire the minute people suddenly realise that, oh, I'll tell you what, go and speak to her over there because she made me a cake last week, it was only £15, and you go, no, oh no, all of a sudden what have I done? Created myself a huge problem. So we're going to learn all about how to be strong, how to make sure we charge the right cake prices, and how to just tell customers politely, no, I don't do a cake for £8.99. That is exactly what we're going to be doing in a very convincing way, and a confident way, and one that you're going to go, it's going to be okay. I'm going to go home and I'm not going to worry that I didn't get that cake order, because it's going to be all right. I'm going to spend my time doing something else instead that's going to be more fun and more beneficial to me than working for nothing. So we don't want to do that. So if you want to practice, and again, there are always those lines there, you know, where do you want to practice? Where do you want to charge? There's always a bit of a line there. So don't forget, if you do want to join that class, you do need to go to a different website. You need to go to tracymancakeschool.co.uk, because that's where the classes are, and it's under Facebook Live, so that's where you need to go and have a look for it there. Right. She says drawing breath and sort of collapsing on the floor. So I won't be here next week. I've got a Tuesday night live at 6:30 on Sugar and Crumbs, which is an hour and a half. I'm finishing at 7:45 because they are having another live directly after me. So I won't be here Thursday morning. I won't be here Saturday morning next week because I'm having the weekend off. But I will post some bits and pieces to remind you about Father's Day, because don't forget, don't leave it if you are planning on doing any of that stuff. So there will be a few posts appearing on Let's Shop anyway. So I won't completely disappear. I might even pre-record you something. You never know. Just to keep you occupied. I've got a very busy week, you see, so I'm keeping my mother occupied as well. We're going to feed meerkats on Wednesday, so look out for posts on that one as well, with a Mr. Whippy in my hand and a meerkat in the other. No. We'll not make it as complicated as that, but yeah, I'm out and about a little bit next week as well. So but thank you very much for everybody that consistently either joins me live or they watch it at a later date. And I know a lot of you do watch it at a later date, because I watch my sales going up and down. I know when you're all out in the afternoon, and I know when you're all back in the evening. I can see what's going on. So I'm very grateful for everybody that keeps tuning in to Let's Shop. We are, oh my goodness, about 9 months into it now. We started in about September time last year, so it's been going well, and we try everything we can to be consistent and appear on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. But if anything changes, I will be putting posts up here. It's going to go a little bit erratic at some point, because something called wedding cakes is going to get in my way, and I'm going to have to go off and do a few deliveries. So there will be some changes to the schedule, but I will post everything on here so you can see exactly when that is. It's going to happen. But I'm sure that hopefully you'll be able to tune in anyway, regardless of when I'm on. But I'll keep you posted on that anyway. So thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you all again soon. So remember, Tracy Man Cake School for classes and products. It's Let's Shop Cake Live. So take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.